Hey there guys, how you doing? This is Ice9 doing another Madden mobile video covering bosses and ultimate legends for the week. We have two of the same position, offense and defense, two tight ends and two safeties. Why EA did this, I have no idea, but what I will say, the ultimate legends, by the way, they have been announced. They'll be coming out Saturday, tomorrow, but we do obviously have our bosses for the day. And what I will say about the bosses, and I would prefer them over just trying to buy the Ultimate Legends. But if you want to buy the Ultimate Legends, if you're a huge Dallas Clark fan or a Lawyer Malloy fan, that's fine. Go out and get those cards. But I think that it'd be very tough for either of those cards to compete with either of the bosses for this week. Eric Berry, what I'll say for the bosses for this week, if I could only do two bosses for the whole year, these are the two cards that I would do. And here's why. A lot of people hate on OBJ a lot. I think because of his height, say he can't go up and get it. There's a lot of big corners and safeties in this game, over 6 foot tall, so that height does matter a lot in Madden Mobile. So regardless of what the jump, catch in traffic, speed, strength, any of those stats are, all things being equal, a tall guy is going to play much, much better. So with that being the case, there's a lot of good tall wide receivers that are out there. And, so why not do this Eric Berry card, which is really, you could play him at four positions, either safety position, nickel, or dime, instead of doing OBJ, and then feel free to use whatever wide receivers that you want to use. I'm using both, and I've done all but one boss now, but of all of them, if I could only do two, and I know a lot of people can only do certain number, the tokens are hard to get through the various methods. These would be the two that I would get, and I would tell you why. I'm not too keen on a zone boost as opposed to jump, honestly. A lot of people don't think jump shows up at all in gameplay. I'm under the opinion that it does, and the reason why I say that is now Gronk with plus 10 jump and all the speed and strength boosters that I have on my team now, Gronk is playing like a totally different player. And that is one of the cool things about the boss program. If you got a few of these cards boosting all your other guys up, you could use players that you might have been writing off at a certain point, and which is definitely a cool thing that we could still use Mobile Master Gronk on our teams. But at any rate, though, the Berry card here, the only knock on the card, well, he's 6 foot tall, so he's not the tallest guy. A lot of people, by the way, were hoping to get a Landon Collins card for boss, and Collins is a great young player and had a great year. A lot of people would argue, though, that Berry did have a little bit of a better year and that he's been around longer. So even though Elliott, a rookie, got a boss card, I'm not too upset that Eric Berry got a card here at all. One thing I would say that is a little bit of a knock, though. He's 6 foot tall, and the block shed, I believe, is 70 base. So that makes him more of a free safety. You could put him at strong safety. He's very athletic. So boosted up, and with jump, he's a good defender. But I would say I'm looking to get the set Sean Taylor Ultimate Legend to put over there at strong safety, like my buddy Fletch has on his team, and then putting this guy at free safety would probably be the way that I would want to go personally, in terms of that, just because of height and block shed. The cool thing about boss, though, is if you've got this guy, you've got some other cards, you got some strength boosters, you could play cards like Team of the Year Chancellor. Still looks a lot better with the boost. He's 98 already, and he's 6'3". You got jump boosts, you got strength boosts, which actually, surprisingly, that Chancellor card needs quite a bit of strength boost for the Team of the Year card. But you could still use a card like that to defend against our other boss for the week, Jimmy Graham. And the boosts on this card are not good, and that is going to turn a lot of people off from the card. And I could certainly understand why. +5 catch, we've already got that with Gronk, we've got that with Edelman. You would argue if catch boost matters that much in the first place, really, at a certain point. And then the jump boost, again, very controversial. A lot of people think it doesn't do anything. I'm of a different opinion. But the one thing I will say about this Graham card, by the way, this is a 115 adjusted overall, and the Barry card's a 114, but this plays like a 115. This plays like it's overall. This is, I would say, the best tight end I've played in this game all 3 years I've been playing. Can go up and get it in traffic at Hall of Fame settings with safeties, linebackers, and corners with high hit power. Can go out and out jump people, go up and get it, hold on to it. Can yards after the catch, can run people over, can elude people, can run away from people. I had an 80-yard curls flats play where he was the outlet and was playing against Team of the Year, Chancellor, and Chancellor just overplayed, kind of bit a little bit too much, and Graham just got behind him and almost ran it in for a touchdown. Got caught at the very, very end, right about at the goal line, but an 80-yard completion off of curls flats on the outlet. It's not, that outstanding, but it is. See, the first day when you use a card and things like this happen, it's making a difference. When I first did the bosses this morning, I did 3 of them. I did James Harrison, I did Graham, and I did Barry, only leaving me one Pouncey that I haven't done, and I probably won't do because the boosts are redundant on my team. But at any rate, when I did the bosses this morning, first thing I did was go and play some Hall of Fame with Graham and see what he could do. And second drive that I played, it was against a 111 defense, and I got an 80-yard completion on a low-severity counter on FB Flair, 80-yard touchdown. Safety went up, tried to make a play, kind of overcommitted. Ball was just too high, up and over the safety. Graham just towers over most players in this game. And then from there, the safety, overplayed it, missed, and that was it. Graham, long touchdown. Nobody was even close on Hall of Fame settings. So he's explosive. He could run people over. The boosts are not the greatest, but in terms of gameplay, easily the best tight end in the game, and I don't see how the 6'4" Dallas Clark Ultimate Legend or Boss coming out tomorrow is going to even be in the same category in terms of gameplay. This is a great gameplay card. If you throw to the tight end, and a lot of people do, this is your bailout guy right here. This card's a cheat code, and there's really no other way to describe it. In terms of that. So for that reason, and Barry for the boost, those are the 2 cards that I would really do out of all the bosses. So I am out of tokens, though. I cashed in my 3 non-auctionable 99s, Domination, Von Miller, Gauntlet, Edelman. Really, really sad and pathetic. Only got 2 months out of Edelman at the most until he turned him into a token. And then Crystal Legend Dorsett all got turned into tokens in order so I could do Harrison, and that's basically it. So, in terms of my team now, network is really slow for some reason today. Apologies for that. But, we can see Graham here and his stats and what he stacks up, how he stacks up. And then went ahead and did Barry with all those 99s. And then I went ahead and did the Harrison card and sold Super Bowl Von Miller. So that's a really good card as well there. And I like him at right outside linebacker. And then Hendricks there at the left outside linebacker, having to cover. If you need one guy to really cover this new Graham card, this is probably the card that you would want to have. He has showed up for me in film. And he's difficult to play against. He's tough to throw over, that's for sure. So that's a really good card as well. And then one thing that you kind of saw, and again, I'm reducing special teams punter and punt returner, trying to keep my overall down. Got a pair of silvers in there. But you can see I'm running Tier 7 DeMarco, and I'm trying to sell Combine Anthony Sherman right now. But this is one of the really cool things about the Boss program. I know it's tough and you need a lot of boosters to do this, but whether it's Sherman or DeMarco on my team, it does not matter to my overall at this point. Boosting up DeMarco so much that there's no difference between the 95 DeMarco and the 99 Combine Anthony Sherman card. That's incredible. So it's something, if you've got a lot of bosses and you don't care that much about the full bag, you could see what this guy's stats boost up at 99 impact block, 98 run block, 99 catch. And one thing I did like about the DeMarco card is he does catch it a little bit better than Sherman. And I'll gladly take the coins at this time of the year, especially now that I am hurting on tokens in order to try to do another boss player. So that is a very cool thing. And another thing I saw today in one of the chats that I'm in, somebody with a lot of speed boosters, that was Barry, OBJ, Vic. I believe he was also, he was running, I think, plus 14 speed at any rate. But he was able to get Tier 7 Richard Sherman up to 99 speed. And that's just amazing because that card, the only problem was really speed. You know, zone coverages, PLR and everything. If you've got enough bosses on your team, I mean, you could easily say, put Tier 7 Sherman in here at dime, and that'll be a great player for you. I don't know how that one will affect overall, but that's a pretty cool thing for sure. That's definitely a cool thing. I do like Blount there. Blount, for being a dime and not on the field that much, he shows up plenty in film for me. So this is a pretty good card from a gameplay point of view as well. So I'm leaving him in there. And as you know, my Sherman's gone. I don't know what happened to him. I don't remember putting him into that trade-in set. But I can't find him, so I can't try him there to see how it would affect things. But I'll take that little man coverage boost, and the press really doesn't do much of anything, I don't think. But it's a good gameplay card, so I'm leaving it in there. And so that's how everything is looking on the team here. Could probably be at a 110, probably a 110 overall right now if I had the right special teamers in there, but I'm just kind of keeping the overall down a little bit. And then other bosses, I'm kind of running out of positions to fill. Don't want the center. Don't need another tight end. Maybe a Mike Evans card to replace Corey Davis here, depending on what the boosts are. Excuse me, that would be a great card. And then other than that, there's not a lot that I really want to do with the team. It's, you know, run out of stuff to do. Would like a taller safety on defense and maybe a taller wide receiver for wide receiver one, a boss. That is about it. There's not much more that I want to do with the team this year. So pretty cool there. And the one thing I would say about, you know, and I hope that EA does this, and EA might. I'm hoping that they will. You know, there's only a couple of us in my league that has really a lot of the bosses. Me and Fletch. Fletch is amazing. Works the auction house very, very well. He's got a little bit better team than I do. 111 overall. He works the auction house a lot. But a lot of the other guys you could see, you know, they're still in the low 100 range. Ayers Aaron got up to a 110 defense. But, you know, a lot of the guys are in the lower part of that range. And I think it would be about time for EA to come out with a promo, live event, or something that drops a lot of elite collectibles to make it easier for more people to get these players, to kind of level the playing field between those of us who are like 108, 109, 110, 111 overalls and everybody else. It would be about high time for EA to do that. It's getting really late in the year. Less than 2 months left, really 1.5 months left in the season. It would be awesome if they do something like that. And I guess 4th of July would be the best opportunity for EA to kind of do that with. But we'll see how it goes. And then here for next year, I've been doing nothing but CFL all day long, playing my league drives and head-to-heads and CFL. That's it. But they got this player training now with a non-auctionable, I don't know why, 99 Aaron Rodgers card. So, and you got to get 500 of these things. It's kind of similar to fan favorites, and I've gotten 3 cards on a drop out of this, but there's no reason, there's no way I'm going to do this one. It looks like a very good card, similar to Brady, just no boost. But, just no desire to do this one at all and spend all the stamina that it would take to do this card. There's just no reason whatsoever to do this. So this will eventually probably go in a token set. But this is supposed to be a preview of next season where they are going to give us the ability to train up players. And I don't know how it's going to work. Obviously, we haven't seen it as yet. This is just a preview. But this is possibly something that could get me to play the game next year. Depends how they implement it. If they make it a big old cash grab, then it'll probably, and with game plans and everything else that they've done, if this is just one more layer of a cash grab, I'll probably just, look at the game and then just to say, see you later, guys. Unfortunately to my league, even though I love these guys. But if it's something where you could really grind through it, and it definitely seems like there's a high probability that this is the case. You could just grind through it and eventually work up your players and make them really good. Then this would be a cool thing. Now, this does cause me to question a lot of things. If you're going to have potentially the same players being available out there, and some people are going to train up their players, are they still going to be auctionable? Somehow, I think that would not be the case, that they'd be auctionable. I could be wrong about that, but what is the auction house going to look like? Is it still going to be the wide open economy that Madden Mobile has been? Is it going to be even more of a pay-to-play type of thing, which would obviously be really bad? Or are there going to be good, legitimate ways to get good players or train up your players? That'd be the question. But at least getting rewarded for your work, if that's part of it, then that is a huge step in the right direction. And depending on what everything else looks like, that would definitely be a reason that I would play the game next year for sure. As well as probably not being a commissioner. It's been too much work for me as a commissioner. I think I'm ready to take a step back from that, to be perfectly honest with you. It's been fun, but this game, I do need to get to my everyday life a little bit more, and commissioner has definitely been getting in the way of that a little bit. But we'll see what happens, guys. But at least it's a change, and we'll see what it looks like for next year. So that is it, guys. That's my video for the day. And yay, if you're watching, come out with some events to make it easier to get tokens. There's less than 2 months left. Give it up. Let's go. Let's make it easier for everybody else to get these guys and enjoy this. It's been a long, hard season with some very difficult gameplay changes in the game. There's a lot of disparity in the overalls in some of the teams. So let's reward some of the players that have been working hard, reward the players that have been working hard at this game, and let them get the boss players. Come on, you can do it. But that's it, guys. That's my video. Thanks for watching.